Whenever I say ma PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Okay, can I deal with this issue?
Yeah, please do.
First of all, we are dealing with facts.
Okay.
So let's establish the facts. He makes a claim about a so-called deficit and says that we had so much capacity, so there was no need to add capacity. That's the bottom line of what he's saying. So I have here with me, and you see, I always prefer to go to the primary document,
Which is
the Energy Commission, because you can't debate that unless you tell me the Energy Commission's publication is wrong. This is the 2016 Energy Commission report. And this is it. The grid electricity available for supply, however, in 2016 is based on the existing and committed generation capacity. So it's based on both existing and committed. Committed means that you expect it to come on. Total transmission peak would be between 2,300 and 2,477 megawatts. Here it is. If I can always say, let me expand it so that your camera can pick. This is it. 2,400. This is it. 2,477. 2016. So then you go to what will be available. Is that not the normal, Java?
yes.
Let me take you to what is available. Just a moment. Energy Commission documents. Please, just a moment. I'm going to the page. So you have power subsector 1.1, table 1, installed grid generation capacity. I've already established to you that we are dealing with 4,707 megawatts for 2016. Now, if nothing is done, and that is where you were bringing that point. See, this is hydropower. This is Akosombo hydro. Average.
Which document are you looking at? 2016.
This is Energy Commission 2016 Energy Outlook for Ghana. Final. This is an official document. Just Google Energy Commission. They shall find it. And that is what you brought. Hydro. Average dependable 900. That's what Egyapa is talking about.
Yes.
Average available 375.
Yes. Yes.
So you go and take this your 900, you are lost. Egyapa, you are completely lost.
Average available is
average available. Let me pull it for you. This is it. See, is this not Akosombo? Hydro. Installed 1,020. Average dependable 900.
Yes.
Average available 375.
Yes.
This is not me. This is official document. So when you go and say the Akosombo is 900 dependable, so you're using the 900 and go and draw this Excel sheet, you are completely off. And your analysis is flawed because you are using unrealistic figures. Beyond that, so let's go to average available. What will be available for 2016 if nothing is done? Total. The dependable is 2,757, like he's mentioning. But because of the hydrology, the water level, what is available is 2,058. Meanwhile, your peak demand is 2,477. Is there a deficit or not? There's a deficit. And yet they won't allow us to deal with facts. Oh, it was just finance. And the plans were available. The plans were. If Akosombo is available and there's no water, what can you do? If there's no water, today you are lucky. The technology is so high. So you are going to have that excess capacity that you are talking about. But if you were faced with 300, it means that a maximum of 600 is knocked off. When you had 600 knocked off recently, were you not in Dumsor? Were there no thermal plants? We're talking of 600. You yourself said that 600 is significant. You just said it here, that 600 is significant. So if during Mahama's time you are losing 600 through no fault of his, because the water level is gone down, must you bring in some capacity or not? So this question that we had, but you see, he makes the argument and falls on his own dagger. He says 2018. The document said that for the next 5 to 7 years, we have overcapacity. And yet 3-4 years after that, you are signing 500 megawatts. He's here. If we have overcapacity, why are you signing 500 megawatts and consume it now? You are consuming AXA, the 370 as we speak. Because the contract takes effect from 1st June 2022. I have the contract here. So is it a contradiction? And then he says, ENI. Oh, he didn't do it well. That we have to pay. Andy, fortunately, I'm doing some thesis work on petroleum revenues and inclusive growth. Egyapa, these are crude liftings. The H1 means the first 2 quarters, 2022. Lifting receipts are shown. First half. Thank you. Thank you. Lifting receipts are shown in table 1 below. This is what? Sankofa Jinyame.
Yes.
First half. This is how much we got.
Raise it a bit.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah.
SGM. Sankofa Jinyame. 10th Sankofa Jinyame lifting. 12 May 2022 and then 26 May 2022. The first half alone, we got $96 million. The second half, we got about $100 million. So oil revenue, just from liftings, so not from royalties, not from. You are getting about $200 million. That's why you don't want to talk about that. He says that the contract was bad. He doesn't want to look at the revenues accruing to the state, which is about $200 million of money coming to you. But for that Sankofa Jinyame project, you won't have this $200 million.
How much did we get from gas?
No, but gas, you don't report it because you yourself came to Parliament and zero-rated paying of gas into the Petroleum Holding Fund. How much you get from gas should be a pass-through. Because as we speak, Sankofa is virtually blasting as full. We are consuming almost all the gas. So it is gas that is sold. What you as minister should be telling us is that we sold X amount of power. We paid Y amount of power. Power bought and sold. This is the deficit.
Oh,
then you said that some other power, we did not consume it. This is the amount. We strike the reserve.
That's why I keep asking about
that is it. Then when you do this,
available will tell us.
Yes, when you do
for
this,
the entire of 2022, as of they gave us X.
Nobody can sit here and assume that we'll consume all our power. It will fluctuate. Depending on, especially when you're a country with a mix of hydro and thermal, you never know what will happen next
In fact, last week, Ben Boachi even showed us a graph. I'm sure I have that document. The one that was that's been renewed for 15 years. What's the name?
AXA. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, if you look at AXA, for example, and the document should be somewhere here. If you look at the AXA one, you will see the graph. You will see a drop in terms of what AXA makes available.
Yes.
You see a drop.
Yes.
So it will be disingenuous to be looking at access dependable capacity.
No, you can't even
and
do
use that.
You don't
because
do
the graph
that.
clearly shows you.
You don't do that.
So it is the available that will tell you that for this year, this is what AXA made available.
Look,
we needed it or we didn't need it.
Sure.
We paid for this that we didn't need.
Now, the bills is talking about, he was at the committee, and that's for me the most important thing. It's not like Japan was not at the committee. They need about 150 million to pay for fuel supplied by Litasco. If the plant is not running, you won't consume that amount of fuel. If the plant is idle, all you do is to pay what he calls capacity charge. So that is, in fact, in the energy sector, we call that capital recovery. Because they went to banks to deploy, so they need to be servicing it. But when you are paying $150 million for fuel, for car power alone, it means that the debt you are talking about is not because of excess capacity. So don't bulk all that and just come and tell, oh, Mahama, contract, excess capacity, excess capacity. What about the power that has been sold? Are you paying for it? And I have the ECG document that shows that of 10,000 billion sold, they collect only 6 billion. So that 4 billion, if I were you, I tackle that 4 billion first. Because that one ought to be tackled. Then we can then look at so-called excess capacity. Are we dealing with the reserve margin? Because the minister came to Parliament in 2021 and told us that because of this excess capacity, we should pay a new tax known as the Energy Sector Recovery Levy. Not ESLA, a new, completely new tax. And we are paying that tax. And yet, you keep telling, oh, Mahama, 7 years into your administration, you are still blaming Mahama. Yet, you are signing new power agreements. I mean, it just doesn't, it's not fair. And when I tell you the exchange rate is led to losses, you want to argue. If the CD had not depreciated, would we have this debt? In terms of what I just quoted, that exchange rate differentials alone gives you $380 million. It's true. And I'm saying that if you had managed the currency well, you might have a debt, but at least $380 million would not accrue annually because of the mismanagement of the economy. So these are facts, Egyapa. All what I'm putting out here are facts, and you can't put a spin on it and try to convince the people of Ghana. Because the issues you are talking about, it just doesn't work. Go and check the 2022 Energy Commission report and look at gas consumption. The gas that you have consumed, have you paid for that? And it says that ENI is the most expensive gas. It's not. It is not the most expensive gas domestic. It is not. And I can give you a chart. What you do with the ENI is that you put an indicative price, which was $9 per MMBTU. It was indicative. Upon completion of the plant, you then do a full cost analysis and determine the charge that you need to put in order to defray that cost. And you and I know that it's about 6. So where from this you're 9 and saying that it's the most expensive? We haven't paid that amount.
Because Jay, you see some of these things.
No, I can't engage you. Run your beg
You know
yes,
that
I know what
the price of the contracted price of ENI has been reduced because GMPC share has been zero rated to bring the price down. And then also the TTIP project that was done, okay, led to some renegotiation, the Takrady Tema interconnection, the reverse flow. Yes. You know, okay? And so that's why I asked that what is the revenue that is accruing to the state from the sale of the gas? We have had to essentially forego that revenue to the state just so that the price of the gas that we buy from ENI comes down.
There are two things.
So please,
let me deal with that when you are done.
Yeah. You see,
there are two things. First of all, there was a cost saving of $150 million thereabout upon completion of ENI. He's here. When you make that cost saving, you knock it to reduce the gas price. There was a cost saving to the state itself. And that's the economics that we do. It's not accounting. This is economics. The state can decide that, look, I would forgo a certain share in the gas price because gas is a valuable product. And that will bring it down. So what is wrong with the gas price coming down?
It's a matter of fact. The government of Ghana is not generating any revenue from the ENI gas.
Which gas are you generating revenue from? Are you generating gas?
Of course.
Revenue from any
so the sale of Sankofa Jubilee, the foundation volumes that through the wisdom of His Excellency President Kufuor we negotiated has been exhausted. And so going forward, we have to pay for
the commodity price. You have to pay for
it. Yes, we have to pay for it. Yes, and of course, all the years that we've enjoyed that 2 billion or so scarf of gas was because the government at the time, His Excellency President Kufuor, negotiated the foundation volume that government of Ghana was to get from that resource. And so all the 10 or so years that we've consumed gas from the Jubilee field, of course there was some substitution arrangement with 10. Okay, we haven't paid for it, but going forward we have to pay for it. Okay, whatever revenue that GMPC or Ghana Gas, whoever is the gas aggregator, generates would have to go into the petroleum holding fund. And that'll be revenue unless, of course.
I was going. Let's finish.
Unless, of course.
You're taking my time. It's my time. I just did it to you.
Oh, really?
You finish. I mean,
all the talk that you've talked.
It's good that people enjoy both sides. So you
understand? Unless, of course, we take the decision that look, just so that we reduce the gas price, okay, of that commodity for power generation, government is going to forgo its revenue that is going to generate from there, you know, because ENI, in spite of the government of Ghana foregoing its revenue, okay, ECG is unable to pay for that commodity. They can't. Yes, and you recall the last time that we were here.
So where's the argument?
Indicated, of course. And
so where's the argument?
And so over and above foregoing the revenue, we actually have to pay for the shortfall in the commodity price that we buy from ENI. Okay, and I'm saying that look, we can have all the arguments that we want, but the truth of the matter is that these are bills that are staring in our face that we need to pay. These contracts were done during your era. I agree that gas is relatively cheaper than liquid fuel. And so that's why consistently over the period, we try to transition from light crude and HFO to gas, such that gas has become a critical component of our fuel for energy generation. No doubt at all. But my point is, these bills have been accrued. These bills have been a cost to the state.
And so why?
And we have
so why blame Mahama? No, so why blame Mahama? That look, you yourself just conceded that our LC, which is light crude oil, was so expensive. So you need this gas in order to do what? To reduce your import bill. This gas has indeed proven that your import bill has reduced so much. In fact, annually, this gas that you claim is expensive saves the state about $270 million. If you were to import light crude, you will require extra $270 million. This contract that you seek to blame Mahama is giving you about $200 million in revenue. This same contract. That one, you don't want to look at it. This is the gas price, 6.1. It's here. And the baseline is 170 MMBTU. I'm saying that when this gas is supplied and you are unable to pay because of your inefficiency at ECG, don't blame President Mahama. If you were to say that, yes, we've bought the gas, we sold it, we haven't been able to pay. There's a deficit. How do we deal with it? Then we are all bringing ideas together. But when you sit here and say, oh, you inherited the contract, did you not inherit Atuabo gas? Did we not hand over Atuabo gas to you? Do you know whose hard work led to Atuabo gas?
President Kufo.
Just one day's shutdown of Atuabo gas.
It was President
megawatts. That's why you don't want to look
I'm saying it was President Kufo.
I won't argue because Ghanaians know who built the Atuabo gas processing.
When you came, what did you do that?
Ghanaians know who secured the funding, who built Atuabo.
It was as a result of the foundation volumes that you needed to put up a plan.
So it was a result of the
you terminated the agreement and appointed them going to get.
Then another person says
yes,
it was as a result of the establishment of GNPC. Somebody built that plant, and we know the person who built that plant. We know the regime that secured the financing to build that plant. When you assume office, Egyapa, and I think that people should learn from this, you assume liabilities and you assume assets. It's your duty to manage it. That is your duty as government. Because you told the people of Ghana that, look, Mahama is not managing the energy sector well. All these agreements came to Parliament. It came to Parliament. The World Bank provided the PRG. This same World Bank. Their commercial wing, which is FCI, was it FIC? I'll get, but their commercial wing did all the analysis. And for the World Bank to give you a partial IFC, International Finance Corporation, is one of the 5 wings of the World Bank. International Finance, they normally get into the, and for the World Bank to provide you with all those mega guarantees and stuff, they would have done the vetting. And also it came to Parliament. Now you are receiving so much revenues from that. Can you imagine, Randy, if Sankofa was not in the system, what would happen? No, can you imagine if Sankofa was not available? What would have happened? Well, a total terrible situation. So please, stop this fixation about incoming President Mahama and his Mahama. Why? I mean, are you not tired of telling Ghanaians Mahama after?
I thought he was former president. Or we describe him as former and incoming.
At least.
Or as it suits you, then you describe it.
At least Mahama will never had a domestic deficit.
Dedi kama mamena Pendream TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, Pendream TV.